Karen Hurt, and I'm here with our next edition of Asking for a Friend. And I am absolutely delighted today to be talking about how do you build a global career, remain authentic to yourself as you are leading across countries and contexts. And I cannot think of a better guest today to talk about this. And this is Serena Aboutboul. She's the Senior Vice President and the Head of Nutrition at Nestlé. So Serena, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Karen, for the opportunity. Pleasure to be here.
So I really wanted to talk to you because of your experience of leading really across so many countries. And, you know, you've worked in several countries and contexts. What are some of the most important lessons you've learned about leadership from having a global career?
I love to listen to people, especially consumers. I got it from there. You know, I have this passion about going out there and listening to our consumers and to people overall. And, you know, one of the learnings that I have is that in spite of different cultures, in spite of, you know, the different geographies and situations, you know, in time, globally speaking, different countries, we have more commonalities than we think. You know, the challenges, the struggles, you know, the values that you have to apply, you know, they resonate everywhere. As I always say, from Fiji Island to Patagonia, we have much more commonalities than we think. And, you know, especially when it comes to women's struggles in their careers or at home as a mother, as, you know, a caregiver, nurturing, working, you know, the struggles are the same. You know, we may be in Saudi Arabia, you may be in Argentina, we have more commonalities than we think. So when you really apply, you know, you have your listening skills there, and you try to understand those, and you perfect your solutions, you can really apply them everywhere because they work.
Serena, I find that too. So we are a global leadership development company, and you know, we recently spent time in Southeast Asia and we've spent time in Vevey, and we also just finished this deep research on workplace conflict and collaboration. And you know, we were in 46 different countries with this research. There was not a statistically significant difference around the issues of, I mean, Russia, Germany, right? Not a statistically significant difference. Because we are so human, and
absolutely.
how the norms and the cultural norms, all of that, sure, but deep down, who we are and what we need and to feel successful is so similar.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so I spend a lot of time talking to people about authenticity and when your team, and I was talking to your team a little bit about how, and they were just saying, oh, she's so wonderful, and one of the word that kept coming up. And why you should talk to her is that you are so authentic. And so I got curious about, how do you stay authentic when you are entering a new context and with new cultural norms? How do you integrate all of that?
Well, first of all, I think it connects to what we said before, right? So people are people, and we have more commonalities than differences to start with. And then I am a great believer in clear, transparent communication. You know, without communicating clearly, you know, what you want, how you see things, your opinions, your point of view, what you expect from people, how can you then, you know, wait for, you know, things to be done as you imagined, as you thought, etc. So I think that clear communication is fundamental. And you cannot have clear, transparent communication that resonates if it doesn't speak to your true self. You know, if you are acting, then it's not clear anymore. That is not transparent anymore. And so number one, I think it's about that, because without, you know, communicating And communicating is not only speaking what you think or want, it's about engaging, being listened, making sure that people understand you.
Let's get really practical. On the show, we try to give people super practical advice they can use. So imagine a friend just accepted an executive role in an unfamiliar country. They will have a new role, a new team, and a new home. What advice do you have? So if you were to say, be sure to do this and be careful not to do that, or any advice at all that you might have.
All right. So look, first of all, you have to show and be yourself. That's the only way to trigger empathy wherever you are in the world. Yeah. So wherever country you are, you have to show this, and people notice immediately if you are formatted or a kind of recitating a text from whatever, from a book, or if you are being yourself. So you trigger this engagement if you are yourself. But having said that, you also have to be aware of the culture and of the norms of, it's not about being yourself no matter what. You have to be yourself considering the frame. You have to be yourself considering the culture. If you are in an environment that requires, a certain way, to behave and to respect, do that, because that's the way you show inclusiveness. That's the way you show you respect that culture. And by the way, it's fascinating. It's a constant learning. That's the way you take the time to learn about another culture, to learn about how to work, in a different dynamics, which for me, it's part of, the joy of the work. So that's for me would be my advice.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. Before we close here, are there any last words of wisdom that you have for leaders looking to build a global career?
I always say that I always be, there was a saying in Nestlé that this is an end company, but I said I am an end person, in the sense that I wanted to work and to have a career, not only to work. I wanted to work and to have a career, and to work outside of my home country, and to get married, and to be a mother. So, you have a lot of ends there, and I wanted everything. I didn't want to do trade-offs in those important things that mattered to me. So my advice is, don't do trade-offs on important things if you want to have a global career. You want to be a mother, add it on. You want to get married or have a partner, add it on, because you will regret those important trade-offs when you move along. So I think that also, if you want to do a global career, go for maybe, a geography that you are not expecting at the moment. Be open. Everywhere you have this fascinating approach of learning. You can learn a lot, and then you can start building from there. And the cumulative experience that you have when you change countries and culture, it's exponential. So my advice would be open. Don't trade off important things. Add to your, wish list, and trust yourself that yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do everything, and you can go there, and things by the end of the day turns out to be much easier than it is before you do them in your imagination. It's much simpler and easier than what you tend to think before. So just go for it.
I love it. I love it. Serena, thank you so very much for sharing your insights, a little bit about your journey, and your practical ways to really be a global leader.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Karen. Thank you.